believe there's a perfect garden for everyone, whether it's a relaxing haven for those in need,
It's a dream, a big dream.
or an exciting space that inspires wonder for the whole family.
Oh, it's lovely.
How cool is that?
A dream garden really is as individual as we are. So often, though, the people who deserve them the most have no time to make one themselves. Hello. So I'm surprising some of the most inspiring people in Britain with the gift of their perfect garden. This week, I'm meeting an incredible woman who refused to let her disability stop her from helping thousands of people across the country.
You can do it. Go on, go and do it. There is no barriers.
But her devotion to duty has left her with one of the toughest plots we've ever faced. So hard the organ broke before it'll worry up. So we're going to transform it into a garden for the whole family that's as sunny and inspiring as she is.
Wow, it's beautiful. I'm just in awe. I can't believe it. Wow, it's amazing.
Welcome to Love Your Garden. This week I'm in Hemel Hempstead in Hertfordshire. The Grand Union Canal weaves its way through the centre of town, but there's no time for boating today. I have a much more important job. I'm here to meet an amazing family who've refused to let disability stand in their way. Asif and Sabina Iqbal are not your average parents. Both of them were born deaf. But both work tirelessly supporting the deaf and disabled community in Britain. In recognition of this, Asif has been awarded the MBE. But he, along with family and friends, thought Sabina deserved something in recognition of her incredible achievements.
Sabina doesn't see herself, that her deafness is a barrier. Sabina's very open. She'll meet with people, she'll try and communicate with anybody.
Sabina has a full-time job supporting the deaf community, but she doesn't stop there. Outside work, she's used her incredible energy and enthusiasm to improve the lives of all sorts of people, and in particular, deaf parents.
She recognised that there was nothing for deaf parents. So she decided that she would do it herself. She's very determined.
In 2001, understanding that deaf parents could often feel isolated and under-supported, she started the charity Deaf Parenting UK.
She absolutely went for it. Without Sabina, there would be nothing still.
The charity has grown to become a national organisation, making a difference to thousands of deaf parents everywhere.
I first met Sabina in 2004. I felt so isolated at that time. She really understood me. Her explanations made me feel like I wasn't the only one. There's lots of deaf parents out there with similar situations.
Even having 3 children of her own hasn't stopped Sabina from reaching out to help as many deaf parents as she can.
She never stops working, basically. She just seems to have this drive.
That's why Asif has desperately wanted to give his busy wife a garden to switch off and relax in. But with the couple bringing up 3 small children and working so tirelessly for others, their garden has remained featureless and uninviting.
Sabina is a wonderful person. She's really kind. For her to have a new garden, space for herself, somewhere to relax, and it would be wonderful for her.
So I'm here to do something about it. It's 7:10 in the morning. I'm hoping to catch Asif and Sabina before they go out. Right, which bell? With me is Lisa Trickett, a British Sign Language interpreter.
No, come on.
Oh, I can't believe it. Hello, lovely to meet you.
We heard a story about you. That you do so much work for other people that you don't get time to sit down and relax in your garden. We come and have a look at your garden and give you perhaps somewhere nicer to relax. Will you recover?
It's too early. I'm trying to get them ready for school, getting Ruby ready for nursery.
I'm terribly sorry. Go on, you going. But the next surprise is just how big their garden is. It's huge.
Yes.
There's another house in the corner.
That's my bedroom. I had an argument with my wife. I managed to
So we've got a sort of patio area here, fencing all the way round. What's that in the pot in the middle? Is that our attempt at cultivation? How important is the trampoline?
The children still love the trampoline, but I don't know.
We've obviously got to give somewhere for the children to play. That's important, yeah?
And also, I think we need to think about their ages, because now they're a lot older.
Right, okay. But we also need to think about you. Because you
Yeah, we want to relax. We need to put our feet up.
Because you don't. You work so hard, both of you, all the time, I know.
That's right.
What do you want to see when you come out of that door? What do you want to find?
Really, I want to see something beautiful in the garden. We have a lot of parties here, barbecues, things like that. So it would be really nice to be able to come outside, so that when we come out, there's something nice to look at, that we can enjoy ourselves together.
Right. So it's got to suit children, parties, relaxation, entertaining, somewhere for him to hide when he's out of favour with you in the shade in the corner, and a trampoline, and just about everything. It's a good job it's a big garden, that's all I can say.
Thank you so much for helping us. I think it will be fantastic.
It's no wonder this garden isn't meeting the family's needs. Apart from the trampoline, which we have to keep, there's nowhere on this sloping, lumpy lawn for the three children to play. You could barely entertain a family of field mice on this tiny patio area. An Asif shed looks a bit lonely, stuck in the corner all on its own. So I'm packing them off for a few days of R&R. Have a good time. Bye. Because they might get a shock when they see what's about to turn up at their front door. Now the fun starts. To get them all rolling, we've had to take some drastic measures. The back of the house has been extended, completely blocking any side access. So anything too big to go through the hallway has to go over the top. So while that goes on, I need to think about the style of garden that might suit this family, and I don't have to look far. Because while we're digging, the Iqbals are having a wedding. And they really know how to party. Asif's sister is getting married in a traditional Pakistani ceremony. It's a riot of colour, and the entertainment thrown in has a real Bollywood twist. And I'd like to try and bottle this and bring it to the garden. Come and have a butcher's. To help me figure out how we do that, I've got my trusty team. David Dominy, Katie Rushworth and Francis Tophill. Okay, this is it.
Wow. It's big.
It's massive.
It really is. You don't know from the front, do you? You can't tell.
No, shall we go now? It's huge. The thing is, Her words were, I love a garden that's beautiful, and I thought, Bollywood colours.
You've got it there.
Yeah.
You've got it there.
So can we make a jolly garden that's really gorgeous, but they also love entertaining?
Okay.
So can you do, David,
Yeah.
a large entertaining area and a kitchen?
A kitchen?
Entertaining kitchen.
I mean, how many people are we entertaining here?
They do it large. They have very big parties. If you can do that, now then, down in that bottom corner down there, you can see using his red marker, Katie, there's a sort of shed.
A sort of shed. It's huge. It's like a second house.
Can you do something with it? Just, I mean, it's lovely. It's a solid, good building, but both inside and out, somewhere for Sabina just to get out of the way of the children, but also it's got to go with the children as well, so it's kind of dual purpose.
Gosh, right.
But
Child-friendly
Yeah,
and
exactly.
child-proof all at the same time.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the outside area in front of it would be nice to get something there.
Right, okay, yeah, there we go.
Francis, with an orange marker, I know your speciality because I watched you vote. There is fencing all the way around the square. 1, 2, 3.
If there's ever fencing, you can guarantee that I'm going to have to deal with
Sir
it.
Francis, sir for fence.
Yeah, for fun.
Well, you see that little stick in the middle?
Yeah.
I get that. I need to do something that's a focal point for the middle of the garden. So, the other thing I forgot to tell you.
What's that?
Well, the trampoline has to stay.
They want to keep
Love
it.
the trampoline. And it's
Who's
really
going to end up
difficult.
with that job?
It's a... Who do you think?
It's F for fence and F for trampoline. But there is one additional complication.
Yeah.
Everything has to come in here to this vast garden
Yeah.
through that passage.
Oh, no.
No, that's
Yes.
the only access.
That's a
And it's
nightmare.
only that wide. I just leave it with you. So with no time to waste, David and the boys get straight down to business. This side of the garden's on a slope, so they're putting in a sub-base to level it out and create a raised deck. But it's enormous. I asked for an entertaining area, not the Blackpool Tower ballroom. Katie's also getting started. Well, trying to.
Dave, you really need to get a move on with this deck.
What do you think we're doing?
Chop, chop. Faster, Dave. Oh, if that had hit me, you'd been in big bother. Missed the job of it.
She's earmarked Asif's shed as a place for all the family.
His shed at the bottom of the garden is totally unused and it's got masses of potential.
But first, the alarming amount of daylight which can be seen through the walls will have to be sorted.
So, my plan for the inside to cover these holes is to clad the whole interior with Sammy's trusty nail gun. Going to help. It should give me a nice clean finish to paint, and I'm hoping it's going to be a quick job, isn't it, Sam?
Watch the level, Bertrand. Have a go at me with the amount of decking and whatever. How much wood have you got in here?
I have a nail gun. Tiff,
Okay.
don't start.
While the two of them fight it out, I've nipped away to look for ideas for my central feature. One of the reasons Sabina and Asif's garden looked so plain is that there was nothing inspiring to draw the eye. So I've come to this stunning manor house near Harpenden. There are lots of small gardens here, but I'm not interested in the neatly clipped parterres and immaculate vegetable garden, lovely as they are. I'm here for the waters. And in these gardens, they're slap bang in the middle. At the centre of this formal vegetable garden, a great vat of water becomes a focal point. You can use any vessel you like to make a water feature. This one is 2 or 3 feet deep with a pump in the bottom which pushes the water up so that it ripples out. It's mesmerising. But water doesn't have to be calming and reflective. Start it moving, and it can offer your garden energy, vitality, and pizzazz. So I'm going to try something daring. I'm putting a water feature right in the middle of our garden. This might be a bit much, so I need to come up with something a little more appropriate. I'm just trying to work out the shape of this water feature for Sabina and Asif, and I think I've cracked it. I think I'll do a raised octagonal pool with jets. But right now, I'm not sure there's going to be room for it. David's deck is growing. He's now extended it onto the ground level to create a space for his outdoor kitchen. I need to get back before things get out of hand. Here in deepest Hemel Hempstead, we're trying to create a multifunctional garden with a Bollywood theme for the Iqbal family. This is a very open plot, so David's adding a pergola to his party zone so we can provide some shade. Katie's family play come chill out area is coming along.
I've decided to go with a lovely calming green for Sabina, and then on the other end I've got some chalkboard paint so the kids can be creative and draw some lovely things on that back wall down there.
Best of all, the boys have started building my water feature in the middle of the garden. This is going to be a tough one. We're filling the garden with complicated features and everything has to be brought in through the house. But it's worth it because the family we're building it for is really rather special. Both Sabina and her husband Asif have been deaf since birth. Youngest daughter Ruby is also deaf, and although the two eldest children, Samara and Arib, have no hearing challenges, the whole family signs.
She's really busy. She's always working. She's a very helpful person. She loves helping other people, and she's very kind.
Sabina started her own charity to support deaf parents and has dedicated her working life to making the world a better place for deaf people.
A lot of people in the deaf community look at Sabina as a role model. They see that she's Muslim, she's deaf, she's a woman, and they think, wow, if she can do it, I can do it.
More than just her determination, Sabina's incredible warmth has been the key to being able to make such a difference to people's lives.
She's so kind. I feel that every person should have a Sabina in their life. Really. Yeah, I love Sabina.
I'm determined to make the Iqbal's new garden reflect what makes Sabina so special. And one way we can do that is by filling the garden with colour. And Frances has clearly got the memo. She's painting the fence a subtle shade of purple.
Francis, is it just an accident that your trousers match the bin?
Are you doing it to House Melon?
That's important.
Hold that. But we can't see you. You see me?
Oh my godfathers. Where's the deck?
We're still putting it in.
It's massive.
It's huge.
Only about a quarter done.
I know, and we've got the kitchen to put over there. It's a big family, it's a big party area, and I think we're just going to have to grunt it because...
Grunt it. We're just going to have to grunt it. What the heck does all that mean? That's rubbish. That's absolute dribble. This is meant to be finished so we can get cracking down there.
I know, well, wait till you get a bit further into the garden.
Now, what's going on over here? What are you doing?
Oh, don't you worry, it's going to be nice. I'm going to dress it. It's going to look delightful. I've
Don't
never let you
worry.
down.
Don't you worry.
Hey?
Have you seen this carnage?
That's what you get when you leave David Dominy of any responsibility, I'm afraid.
Frances Trocker, living proof that a woman cannot be separated from her rollers.
Not so good in my hair.
Passion purple,
Do you like it?
very exotic.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it'll give the right kind of sort of Bollywood feel, really.
That's sweet. Oh, thanks.
Keep
Alan.
rolling along. To be honest, the fence is as Bollywood as it gets at the moment. So here's our grand plan to turn this garden around. Taking inspiration from the gardens of Asia, we're using symmetrical shapes to bring some order to the space. David's large decking provides room for partying on one level and then steps down to an outdoor kitchen where Asif can hone his culinary skills. Its shape is matched by the patio we're putting next to the shed, where Kate is creating a family zone. Even the existing trampoline will be framed by Frances to match the geometric theme. But it's my bold central water feature that will bring the whole garden together. And as you can see, it's a work in progress. The block work on my pool has now dried out. So I'm coating the inside with this black waterproof paint. I'm getting one really good thick coat on now, which I hope will dry quite quickly, and then I can apply at least one or two more. The great thing about black on the inside is it makes the water extremely reflective, much more than a turquoise swimming pool. Meanwhile, with the deck ongoing, David has turned his attentions to his outdoor kitchen. A fully built-in kitchen can cost tens of thousands, so we've come up with a less expensive option. Rather than bespoke cabinets, we're putting in sandstone bricks, on top of which we're going to add a single piece of granite,
I'll get to the bed.
creating an elegant prep area.
Yeah, no, you slide back. Up a bit, that's it. And that's a serious bit of work up there, isn't it?
Not content with painting the fence, Frances wants to make a more personal statement and has found inspiration in pictures of Sabina's wedding day. As part of the wedding tradition, Sabina's hands and feet were covered in henna tattoos, all in classic designs.
It's beautiful, but it shows me the henna that she had on her feet and on her hands, and I've just used those as inspiration to create these designs. I wouldn't normally be brave enough to do this freehand, but actually looking at the henna and the way it goes on, the freehand quality is kind of the beauty of it. So I'm being brave and I'm going for it, but I am starting with something very geometric. I'll get more ambitious as I go on, I promise.
That looks really pretty.
Thank
really,
you.
really pretty.
Thank you.
And so pretty, in fact, that is this going spare?
No?
Have some of it.
What
Just a little
for?
bit. Well, you've inspired me. Just a little bit. I won't use it all, I promise.
As I've inspired you, and I feel flattered.
The next stage of David's kitchen build is to put in a freestanding cooker and sink, but to save money, he's had his delivered flat pack, a decision he's now regretting.
I mean,
Dave, watching you over there is a bit like watching a 3-year-old opening Christmas presents they don't like.
I've just opened an apple and an orange. Hello? Is that the Flat Pack helpline?
Here in Hemel Hempstead, our Bollywood-themed garden looks more like a construction site than a film set. My water feature is meant to tie all the parts of the garden together, but at the moment, it looks more like a well. Good news, my sealant's gone off, so shouldn't have it waterproof. So at some point, I shall leave it as long as I dare. Spit on my water, cross my fingers and then run. For a decorative finish, I'm covering the base with pebbles. I know you can see the pipe, but when the water's moving on the top, you won't. Elsewhere, there's a definite theme developing. All I can say is, I hope they like purple.
I remember a conversation that happened where you said, "Can I just nick a little bit of your light purple paint?" And I can't help noticing that you're intending to paint your entire building.
Well, I kind of, just thought that your purple fence looked so nice.
Will you keep quiet, you lot up there? Trying to do an outdoor kitchen down here.
While I wait for my water feature to fill, I've slipped away to spend some time with Sabina, to find out more about her and her inspirational family.
You grew up the only deaf child in a hearing family. Did that affect you?
The fact is, I was very fortunate through my life. I had role models from different deaf adults. Without them, my life would be completely different. Also, with the love and support of my parents, they've always believed that I can do things. With their encouragement, saying, "You can do it, go on, there is no barriers, go for it."
Sabina did well at school, and after a period working for social services, she went on to study for a degree. It was during this period that she met Asif.
The first time I met him, I thought, okay, lovely man, but not for me. So we had lots of things in common, same interests. We both loved travel. But it wasn't until I went to San Francisco as part of my university placement for 3 months, and he went off to Pakistan for a family wedding. So we didn't see each other for 4 months, and then I realised, everything that went on, I want to tell him, but he's not there for me to tell him, and I realised it was that moment, that was the moment for me.
Asif and Sabina were married in 2002 and now have 3 children. Samara and Arib are both hearing, but the youngest, Ruby, is deaf.
I did copy it open.
Ruby is deaf, but wow, she's so bright. I think because she's so visual, she gets a lot of visual communication. She's very observant. Her first language is British Sign Language because me and Asif sign, so it's a visual language. Spoken language is done via her brothers and sisters, so she's really, really confident. We've always been consistent trying to treat them all equally. They all have different needs and they're all individual.
Is there much time for rest and relaxation at home?
Never. Never.
So a garden would make a difference?
It would make a big difference because I love entertaining family and friends if I get the chance. A new garden would mean I could switch off, I can chill out, the children can enjoy themselves, and I can just sit and chat with friends and family.
So a bit of space for you as well?
Definitely.
Sabina and Asif have never let their deafness be a barrier. And it's clear to me that much of what they've been able to achieve is down to the powerful bond they have as a couple. And back in the garden, there's excitement in the air, because we've just had a Technicolor delivery. Forget muted tones and coordinated beds. I want our borders to be a blaze of colour. Assuming the plants make it.
Can you manage? You sure? Oh no, it's not as heavy as it looks. I was right. Oh!
Alan!
She did it! Responses!
But there's still lots to do before we can start planting.
Oh, this is promising. Loads of colour.
And I've returned with a new task for Katie.
Oh, I see. Well, there's passion purple, dark purple on the fence. You've gone with the light purple that she's using on the top.
Yeah, what do you reckon?
Well, I reckon you've got a drip.
Oh, do you know?
Do you know those people who come on and they just pick? You've done well to get no don't. But can I sow another seed?
Yes.
They had a world trip around the world in 21 days.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And they went to all kinds of places, including Thailand. And they also loved
Hollywood.
If I just sow those seeds.
Okay. Right. Thailand, Hollywood.
Along with our delivery of plants came a not-so-little present for me.
Oh, my trees have arrived. Oh, that's nice. Look at these. Fabulous. Indian bean tree, catalpa. Lovely big leaves. They get even bigger than this. They get, almost the size of a tea plate. And, well, you see where I'm going to put them.
But getting them in the ground might be a problem. The soil we're working with is littered with stones and glass. Even our trusty powered auger is struggling.
So hard the auger broke before your very eyes. So the idea is we'll have 4 of them in a quartet around this central pond.
I'm positioning the trees a few feet away from the edge, so when they mature, their giant leaves and beautiful scented flowers will be reflected in its waters.
Playing chess with trees. I've added some extra topsoil to this. Some decent stuff out of the barrow, so it's got a bit of something decent around it. If you work too much organic matter around trees as big as this at the bottom, they tend to be very wobbly, and in the wind, that organic matter doesn't have as much pressure on it as pure soil does, and the trees like to swing and go over. So I'm not putting much in the way of organic matter, but it is decent topsoil around it. There we are. One down, 3 to go.
Meanwhile, out front we've got some visitors. Sabina and Asif's children have brought the team a present to keep them going.
Thanks for making them.
Don't read that one.
Katie's invited them to help her bring a touch of Hollywood to Hemel Hempstead.
Okay, go. Push. Push. Okay, go. Squish. Thank you, guys, and remember, it's top secret, okay? No telly.
The epic deck build is nearing completion, so David needs to link his outdoor sink to a water source before it all gets sealed up.
Who's that?
Dave, are you under there?
Yeah, well, don't just stand it, give his hand. I'm trying to get this home story. If you get behind where the kitchen is.
Yeah? What are you doing?
Right, can you stop poking your finger through that hole?
I can't.
That's the other part. Grab hold of the end of that.
Got your pipe?
Can you just put it through that hole?
All of it?
All of it.
Enough?
Is that enough in there?
Well, I don't know. What's it for?
It's for the tap.
Ah, for the tap. Oh, yeah, it's plenty.
In the middle of the garden, I found a way to hide the skinny legs of my Indian bean trees. These dwarf hebes will grow to about 2 feet tall and will be coated with white flowers in the summer.
Just nice to see something green going in, isn't it?
And to make the lush green foliage stand out, we're surrounding the feature with white gravel, creating paths either side to link them to the deck and the patio. Over in the food corner, Chef is bringing something fragrant to the table.
Because it's an outdoor kitchen and we're in the garden, I want to really capitalise on having lots of fresh herbs. So Sabina and Asif can pick them and use them with the cooking. And it doesn't get any fresher than that. This is a little creeping rosemary for their lamb dishes. a little bit of thyme for the chicken. A couple of real winners for a kitchen garden is one is mint, and that's not just for the food but it's also for the drinks as well. And the thing about mints, you can get them in so many different fragrances. You get apple mint, peppermint, spearmint, and even chocolate mint. They're great for flavourings. It really does smell of chocolate. And the last one of my favourites. Oregano.
Over in the middle of the garden, it's not going quite so well.
Oh dear! There's all one up in here.
This is meant to be a synchronised fountain,
Synchronised. Oh, that's
but I'm having trouble with my jets.
oh! Oh, I was a warrior.
Up in a drier part of the garden, the biggest deck we've ever built is finished at last.
It's the last plank! Yes! Well done, son.
And with the plants starting to go in, we've a real chance of turning this rock-strewn field into a garden worthy of its owners. But with all the excitement, we appear to have forgotten the one thing Sabina and Asif insisted we kept.
That's really pretty.
Thank you.
Now, you haven't forgotten about the trampoline, have you?
No. Sort of.
Yeah.
No, I've got a plan for it.
Somebody else hasn't forgotten about the trampoline.
Is it alright, David?
It's the business. The only problem is, first 10 jumps are fun. After that, it's a workout.
You need one though.
Here in Hemel Hempstead, we're into the last stage of our Bollywood-inspired garden for Sabina and Asif Iqbal. And Frances has come up with an inspired idea to hide the old trampoline. She's had the boys make frames that are fitted with trellis panels, but these are no ordinary screens.
Oh, good, so there's a bit of a gap around it. And have we worked out a way to make it spin?
We have. So if we put a little pivot point there, and a pivot point at the top.
Okay, and then like a rod
Yeah,
sticking up.
coming through.
Okay,
And
cool.
it should spin on itself.
Very nice.
The panels are designed to pivot, so they can be open when the kids are using the trampoline,
Okay, in.
and when they're not, they can be closed.
Very nice. Pretty clever, isn't it? See, that's exactly what I wanted. Shadow on the ground, and as the sun moves across, that will move across the garden. It's very pretty.
Meanwhile, Katie's found another way to remind Asif and Sabina of the happy days they spent travelling together.
This is a Magnolia grandiflora. Now, it doesn't originate from Thailand, but it has this lovely exotic looking green leaf, and the flowers are fantastic, very tropical looking. They should really frame this shed.
And alongside it, lush green plants like Fatsia, Pittosporum and Canna indica make a dramatic statement against France's purple fence.
Oh no, I don't like that. That can't live there. No, don't like that either. Bedtime looking. Much better. Ties in really nice that canna leaf. And also the underside of the magnolia. It's a keeper.
With the boys taking care of her screens, Frances can finally finish her mural.
Alan, I'm done.
What?
I'm done.
I'm fainting!
Quick, get some water.
You've only been 3 weeks.
But David's entertainment area is still not done. Asif and Sabina are going to be here in a few hours, and currently they have nowhere to sit.
There's 22 flat-pack boxes here.
Yeah, they're for the furniture and entertainment area. It's all going down there.
The clue was in the word flat-pack.
Yeah, well, I'm a bit flat packing at the minute. I just put that kitchen up. I was going to finish that border. I know it's a lot to do, but I'll get on with it.
I'm willing to believe you, I'm wanting to believe you, and more importantly, I am waiting to believe you.
In the back, Katie and I are onto the last bed, and we may need our sunglasses to plant this one.
This is Bollywood.
Ooh, nice.
Colour.
Yes.
Never mind your subtlety.
Okay.
Do it
So you're going to do a bit
right.
of Bhangra dancing for us?
Do you know, if I knew what it was, I would.
Well, do you know it's all based on farming moves? So
Pardon?
On farming moves.
Is it?
It is indeed. So
What,
I
like, so
one of them.
let's not do that.
Yes! And
Muck
one-
spreading.
And the ladies do one where they pick the fruit from the tree and put it in the basket. There you go.
Good to be ladies. I think I'll stick to what I do best. As the last bed bursts into life, we're on to the final reel of our Bollywood epic. And as the lights go up, this garden is finally ready for its premiere.
Shall I give you some facts and figures? 120 square metres of decking, 150 square metres of turf. I lost count of the plants, and soil that's as hard as iron.
It is.
There was one person, however, who managed to get out of planting anything that went deeper than about 2 inches, because he spent his entire life unpacking boxes, and so he gets a little thing which says King of the Flat Pack.
I never want to see you with a screwdriver or set of instructions again.
Yeah, we've heard that before.
Guys, it's brilliant. Shall we let them come back and have a look?
Yeah.
Oh, they like it. Let's catch them. Come on.
A few days ago, this garden was an empty and neglected wilderness. It couldn't have been more different to the fun-loving family that own it. Now, Bollywood has come to Hemel Hempstead. David's epic deck is the perfect place for the family to throw the huge parties they love. Or just kick back and relax in the shade. Asif can now be king of the grill thanks to a brand new fully fitted outdoor kitchen that's surrounded by planters filled with fresh herbs. Katie has transformed the shed into a place of memories for Asif and Sabina, where they can enjoy our version of the Hollywood Walk of Fame and be inspired by a kaleidoscope of colour. And in the centre of the garden, there's an oasis of calm, where the family can enjoy sunlight and shadow playing on the water under the spreading leaves of the Indian bean trees. For more information on how we built the garden, go to itv.com/Alan. Asif and Sabina really are an example to us all. Two people who, despite their disability, put all their efforts into caring for others, and best of all, have a lot of fun doing it.
Hello.
I think it's time they got something in return.
You look beautiful. Wonderful. Asif, lovely to see you. Welcome home.
my God! Oh wow! Wow, it's beautiful. Oh, thank you, Alan. Thank you. It's fantastic. I'm just in awe. I can't believe it. Wow, it's amazing.
This is your sitting area.
It's really beautiful. It really reflects our culture as well.
And it's big for entertaining lots of friends.
Definitely, it's really lovely. I love it.
Well then, if we walk down here, you can then see your kitchen.
Wow, I can't believe it. It's amazing.
And I want you to look at that. You got it. Now just along here, something for you to look at. Hollywood Walk of Fame. So you got your 3 children. Now your shed has had a bit of a makeover.
Wow, look at it. Look at the map on the wall. Everywhere that we've been. You've got the pictures as well. It's beautiful.
Just here.
Oh, this is lovely. This is brilliant. I love this. I love the flowers. I love the lanterns. I love the style of it. It's just so relaxing. It makes me remember my holidays. Exactly. I feel like I'm on holiday as well. It would be lovely to see the children, what they think of it as well.
Shall we let them in? Okay. Now Asif and Sabina have seen their garden. I think it's time we got this party started.
Oh, look at the children. Oh my God, we got cookies.
When I spoke to Sabina earlier, she said when you can't hear anything, your other senses are heightened. From her reaction, and the reaction of all the children in this garden, I think that's absolutely true. I don't need to ask them if they're pleased. You just have to look around. Till next time, love your garden. Bye-bye.
Really beautiful day today. The family have all come. It's the first time we've had a barbecue at the house. We want to say really thank you very much for such a beautiful garden. Hi there, we're back from our honeymoon now and we're quite stunned. Are you serious? It's amazing. Thank you very much. And I definitely want to steal the garden. We come into the garden every day after work and just relax. We eat outside and we're really enjoying it. Thank you.
And if you'd like to nominate a special someone to have their garden transformed by Alan and his team, go to itv.com/Alan. Well, everyone's in party mood for the arrival of a new plane in Virgin Atlantic up in the air next, while Gordon puts 18 new chefs through their paces in Hell's Kitchen over on ITV2. And there's more troubling times for Harry in Mr. Selfridge. That's over on ITV.